And back to the HD remakes or so. I know with the recent God of War, I mean, I don't have a PS3 at this point, but I played the first two God of Wars, and they recently released them on the PS3 in like a whole combination. Like instead of just porting them over, they also updated the graphics and made them like HD, and so, and that's like a more common thing when you want to make it like instead of just porting the game over to a different console or so, because you have the be able to have them replay it again, especially since they released the last one on that. I mean, you see that even with the Halos, like they recently re-released the anniversary of Halo Combat Evolved, but that was by a different developer who's now taken over the issue of making the Halo games since Bungie has stepped down because they fell out of contract with Microsoft, because Microsoft owned them. And also I heard that they are coming out with the Halo 2 anniversary, so they're going to redo that too, which will be, I think will this time be introduced on the Xbox One. But,
which I'm excited about.
Yeah.
That was a good clutch shot there.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah, I haven't played God of War, but that's definitely on my bucket list, especially since I have a PlayStation now.
Yeah, that'd be something to get. You want to get it? No, I'll get it. Let's make sure we get everyone here, because it's tricky on this one. It's always that disguise one that really screws you up on co-op unless you have a stimulant, because the stimulant will just sit there and follow you.
Right.
But yeah, if you have a player, then the player can screw you up. Alright, so...
I remember this sim, like, as you do co-op and just... Yeah, they're about useless.
Alright, I'm on this guy, so you
okay.
chill back here.
I will chill out here and look at the view.
Wow, I have to wait till I shut down the network, but we can't get ready though for it to be shot at. So.
Oh yeah.
Alright, but also other replays. We both played HD releases. Well, I guess you can say HD because the GameCube wasn't HD at this time. But they had re-releases of the Resident Evil series, the first one, and then they made the Resident Evil 0 in those same style of graphics.
Right. Yeah, and I never played the original Resident Evil before they had the updated. Get him! Get him! Oh my god! Yeah. Shoot. Is he fighting me? Okay, I'm just staring. Oh no. He's just giving me a giant fight.
Damn.
Wow.
That could have ended badly.
Woo!
Well, let's see if they still see me as a
good person.
Yeah.
I swear I'm good. But yeah, I remember the cheesy lines from the original Resident Evil. I never played it, but I heard all about it, which was like, Jill Sandwich when she was going to get squished by like the roof, and
here it goes.
She was the master of unlocking. It was terrible localization. Like the translation was terrible. Do we? Is it game time?
Yeah.
Okay, game time.
Yeah, watch it.
God, why is it
coming back up, I guess. I got a shield, so I'm gonna come back to you.
I'm almost dead.
Yeah, I'm gonna up to you. Yeah, there you are.
There's a guy. Okay. Onward and upward.
The graphics on the Resident Evil, though, we were just so impressed with them. We used to have an old thing where we like watch each other while we were watching one person play or so. And it was, we try to tell the story.
Yeah, tell me.
All right. There was one point I was playing, and this was back when we really didn't understand the game too much. We were like running out of bullets, and we didn't have a good feel for it. Like before we really even looked at the strategy guide. Yes, at that time we still used strategy guides. This was before the internet got bigger than that. So we were all freaking out. We didn't know what to do, and I was running out of bullets in my one gun or so, and I realized I only had one shot left or so in my pistol, and I was being attacked by a zombie or so. So I forget who said it, but someone said like, "We only have one bullet." It's like, well, make it count. So I shot it, and then his head exploded. So, and obviously in the original, at least in the original Resident Evil, you can't aim with that. You can somewhat aim up or so, but there's no guarantee.
Auto aim, and
Yeah.
like you hope for the best.
Yeah, you sort of aim in the direction that
You
you can.
kind of hope for a critical strike.
Yeah. So it just completely worked. Where we blew his head off, and it was one shot left, and we got him.
Right.
But I can't remember what else happened there. We might have died, or might have restarted, or something. But yeah. No, don't worry about that.
Okay.
We just have to get on the plane. Yeah, I got stuck on the elevator there, telling the story.
Yeah. So up in the
yeah. So that was always a fun time. We were all freaking out about it. And that's when we kind of got into the story. Because even the strategy guy, we got more in depth with the story and got more out of the complexities of it. But the game barely even illustrated a lot of that.
You go first.
Yeah, the tank.
The tank.
Oh, you got in my way. The tank needs to be able to back up too.
I was healing you.
Yeah, I'm sure you were.
Yep.
Alright, so this one we don't need cheap equipment, so just getting on this one doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Of course, I've only played a demo of it, but we both are big Zelda fans, and I've somewhat got a feel for the new HD release of Wind Waker. And I've seen some of the nice like tones, the shadows that got emphasized more in the HD remake, and it was very nice. I loved the art style of Wind Waker, but it just I sometimes have trouble with that. I'm like always seeing the compare contrast. It seemed like there were just more, I guess, sharp visuals or so. I guess you can say it
in the HD version.
Yeah, in the HD version, but otherwise it's hard. It's with a cartoon, with something that's cartoony. Not to criticize the cartoony, because the cartoon visions of it worked very well for what it did. Or so it was a great art style.
I thought it flowed pretty well because of the art style they went with.
Yeah. We can talk about that art style a little bit later, but another topic. But just some examples of HD remakes or so. But
I have to get a Wii U to enjoy it.
Yeah, but I'd rather not pay for something that I still have Wind Waker on the GameCube. I still have my GameCube. I got rid of my N64, but I have my GameCube, so I'll still have that. And I'll still be able to play Wind Waker and even Twilight Princess with the Zelda games on that. I just can't play Skyward Sword unless I borrow my brother's Wii. So I'm saying the wrong part. His Wii or so to play Skyward Sword again. But anyway, those are just some HD examples. But besides this being an HD remake, this game also had a prequel that was added on to the. It was a 360, right? You played it though, so
it was a launch title. It was
this one.
Yeah. It was
launch title.
Yeah, launch title. Perfect Dark Zero.
Who are you, young lady?
Mr. President, you're in danger. He's trying to kidnap you.
And yeah, I mean, it tried to go forward. Microsoft acquired Rare, so they're like, oh, Perfect Dark was such a great franchise. Let's try to build onto it. But I'm surprised they went with a prequel, which it didn't really fit into this game because there's a lot of backstory to Perfect Dark.
But basically that she never had any experience of this. She excelled in her training, but she was never really. She never was a field op, so she had to prove herself in that very first mission, and so it didn't.
Yeah, but throughout that.
We have to get you to the escape pod. Follow me.
I've done that. Yeah, I remember this guy. Yeah, I remember
going down. Oh, this way. Okay, don't shoot the Secret Service. Don't shoot the black.
Oh yeah, we did get into it.
So what else are you saying about the ending though? Like
So one thing that really annoys me is when you have like a realistic setting. Like,
well, this is a sci-fi setting.
Yeah, this is sci-fi, but there's aliens. There's not really like supernatural stuff happening. Like things are explained by like this president. That's who goes into it. But yeah, the ending was just like this really mystical, like floating islands, and this guy was like flying through the air between the islands, and you had to, you know, defend yourself. And it was a really weird final boss battle, and it just kind of like.
Was it supposed to be like virtual reality or something?
No, it was supposed to be like a real thing. I forget why we were there. I was just like, at that point, I was just like, what is going on? Like, I was completely lost in the story at that point.
Maybe
I mean, they couldn't even relate it to like some kind of sci-fi or like, even like let's say with hell, kill me. I'm doing the timeline now. Even like, for example, I thought they would have an issue with the Thor movie or so, considering it'd be like a Norse mythology, but they made it more because there's aliens or so. They're aliens from another dimension that have an easy way to do it. Magic is science to them, or so they're able to explain it that way. This supernatural element they're able to make in a sci-fi sort of way. And they even did that with also Man of Steel or so. But have you seen that yet?
No, I haven't seen
yeah, it's very. I enjoyed it. A lot of people criticize it. We can, when you see it, we can talk about that.
Right.
But yeah, they made it. Basically made sort of a supernatural element in more of a sci-fi setting or so.
Right.
But
And
if that couldn't do it,
they didn't really explain it. It just kind of happened. Like the person who we were fighting was supposed to be powerful, and I guess the best way for them to do it was to make them a wizard, which is weird. So yeah, it just, I don't know. But on top of just that, you know, the shooting wasn't tight. Like for a shooter, it wasn't great. There was just things about it that.
Did it try to recapture the ready-to-play style of Perfect Dark, or?
No. It actually changed the controls set to modern controls. It's
so
just
like a Halo sort of thing.
Yeah, kind of like that. And it was just, I don't know. It felt real slow. The gunplay was weird. And like people would just start shooting you like from random places. Like it would be like halfway across the map, you're getting hit by somebody who had just like a pistol.
Yeah.
And you know, they would be like stuck in walls and stuff, and it was just like after a while, it was just like, oh come on.